When you hear the word witch, or if you were asked how the idea of a witch came about, would your mind instantly go to women with warts, tall black hats, bubbling cauldrons overflowing with potions, Salem witch trials, black cats, supernatural events, or women flying on brooms? If so, you're like most people. I'm here to tell you the true origin of witches, as short and as sweetly as possible. Up until the 15th/16th century, brewing beer was a domestic job reserved solely for women, mother or wife, hence, the term alewife. While men were out hunting, women were out gathering ingredients they needed to make beer, among other things, of course. Before the science of fermentation was discovered, beer and wine had a mythical status. It was magic. I won't get into that here, but the process itself was deemed as magic until science came into the picture. Yada, yada yada. Eventually brewing moved outside of the home and into a more commercial/artisanal activity, and while women weren't allowed to start their own businesses, they tried to figure out a way to brew for $. The cauldron. The women who still brewed did it with a large cauldron of boiling wort. They needed a big vessel to do it. Black cats. Mice loved to eat the grain used to make the beer. Alewives wanted as many cats around as possible to chase away these mice. The tall black hat. Back in the height of women's fashion, a lady could almost always be found with a head covering, but it was usually a short, brimmed hat. These alewives, however, would instead wear tall hats up to 2 feet high. This made them stand out in large crowds, so people knew who they could buy beer from. It was literally their marketing scheme to sell their brews at markets and in the streets more easily. The broom. To promote sales, alewives would place a broom in front of their home to show that they were open for business. Back in the day, a talisman, which resembled the Star of David, would be put outside their door as well to convey the purity of their beer, as plagues were a constant concern in the Middle Ages. The 6 sides of the star represented hops, grain, malt, yeast, water, and the brewer. How witches evolved to be evil. For centuries, these alewives enjoyed the respect and success they earned from brewing beer. However, the attitude of men started to change this, and propaganda ensued. These brewsters were targeted in art. Many medieval churches in England have some sort of picture of an alewife in hell in the Last Judgment scene. These alewives' association to black hats, cauldrons, broomsticks, etc. became more and more prevalent in the art, and this is what later led them to be associated with witchcraft and evil. Because men wanted to take part in this success, they started to push the women out of the picture. The modern-day government of men wanted these women to start buying their grains from them, which the alewives didn't want to do. They could go get it themselves. Why would they pay someone? This made them mad, so they used the symbols that had been associated with the alewives, black hats, etc., to make people believe it was witchcraft/evil as a way to force them out, since they couldn't just do away with them. Those with power had the authority to depict the artwork made inside of churches, and they used the stereotypical image of an alewife and associated it with demons/hell simply because they could. Propaganda, and wanted to take over the brewing business. This was also one of the earliest examples of a modern-day attempt at taxation. So, this Halloween,